Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to Margaret is the director of Storm Web Development Limited, and she's the winner of the IT Specialist of the Year award for the Disaronio. I probably got that wrong, but what I'm going to
Don't worry.
Thanks, Margaret. I'm delighted to have Margaret with us. I'm going to pass over to her now. If any of you have questions as we go along, please put them in the Q&A or the chat box, and Margaret will deal with those at the end. I'm going to disappear myself because I really want you to be able to focus on Margaret. And thank you, Margaret. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you, Emer. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining this webinar. So I'm going to be talking to you about optimizing your website for organic searches. I'm going to be covering a number of areas, such as just briefly, but I will go into detail on how you, and practically on how you do effective SEO on a post or a page. So we're going to be covering keyword research, good content, creative repetition, variation in page content, optimizing your titles, meta descriptions, internal links, importance of alt tags, URL names, no spamming the search engine, social interaction, and link building strategy. Okay, so they're just a few of the items we're going to cover. The first thing I want to talk to you about is keyword research, because it's very important. Your goal should be to pull top rank on the most desired keywords. This is an exercise that will take the effort of both marketing and management. So think about how people would search for your products and services, make a list of those keywords, and check the traffic for each term with a tool like Google Keyword Planner. So what I'm going to do is I've recorded a little video. I'm going to share that with you now. And I want to, it just basically shows you how to access the Google Keyword Planner and follow the steps. So I'll just play that for you now. So you see, you type Google Keyword Planner into your search bar and you choose the AdWords Google Ads Keyword Planner. You will need to have a Gmail account for this. Okay, so discover new keywords, and then you just type in the keyword. In this instance, I put in Irish designer jewellery. And click get results. Now you will see that it shows here your keyword and how many monthly searches it gets. So there's high competition first, so you have to be very clever in how you create your content to best reflect those keywords. So it'll give you other options like contemporary Irish jewellery, Irish craft jewellery. They'll show you what people search for. And it'll always show you high, as the video shows you there. And then you can click on prepare report, and it'll download a keyword report, and you can then open that and work with that. Okay, so that was just to show you how to use your keyword planner. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to a client site of ours. This is called Shambally House and Gardens. They went live towards the end of February, and they are ranking first for their keywords Irish Herb Dispensary, which is quite an achievement for a new site. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through a post, and I'm going to show you how you should prepare that post and compile it, and I'm going to explain about plugins. The platform I'm using here, this is a WordPress platform. So the SEO tool that I'm using is a WordPress tool called Yoast SEO. I will just show that to you quickly. This is it. It is a free plugin, and it's a fantastic tool. It really helps people to boost their SEO. So I will just show you this now. So this is the back end. Sorry, just to explain, this is not their actual live site. This is a copy of their site on a staging server. So we're not messing around with anybody's site. So just to show you, this would be your dashboard, and it's so important. Apart from when you develop your keywords, you need to write your content. So high quality content attracts the best interest and compels visitors to share and link it, which makes it go viral. And this content virality, Google rewards it heavily. So it's really important that when you're using your keywords, that you don't overuse them, but I will go into that in a bit more detail in a minute. So I'm just going to show you a post here. I have already prepared this. As you can see, there's a draft. So if you were adding a post, you would add new. So as I wanted to show you the different aspects, it would just take too long, to go through everything in detail. So the first thing you start off with is you want to get your keywords, for example, into your post. In this case, I mean, Irish Herb Dispensary is a big one for them. So what we're saying here is Shambally Irish Herb Dispensary Open Day, for example. So when you type your title into a new post there, it automatically creates that as your permalink, but you do have the option to edit that. Now, URLs are really important for SEO ranking as well. Every page, the URL should have the relevant keyword for that page in it. The URL being your page link name, okay?
Hello everyone. I just like to say, Margaret, that people, the screen isn't changing. I'm getting that message through.
Okay.
They can't see the post. Somebody can't see the post.
Okay, so I'll share screen. I'll change that, I beg your pardon. So, sorry, I thought I'd done that. Can everyone see this now?
Hopefully, can everyone see it now? We're just typing that. Yes, I'm getting yes. All yeses. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Apologies for that. Okay, so just to show you this again, you would add a new post and all of this would be blank. So this would be your title. So in here, as I said, you would type in your title and you want to get keywords into your title, very important. Then once if it's a new post you're creating, it will, in WordPress, it will automatically create your URL with the keywords in it. You can see that here, Shambally Irish Herb Dispensary Open Day, okay? You can edit that if you want, and put in another keyword. But when you're going to do a post, you need to decide what your main keyword is, or keywords, and use those in your title, in your URL, and in your content. So down here, you always start off with a H1 tag on your page. You will see here, that's a heading 1, okay? See that? So that they are given more importance than other text. Google will always look for a H1 tag on a page to index keywords. So it's very important, whatever system you're using, that you type the title for your page in a H1 tag, okay? So as you can see, I've put in Shambali Irish Herb Dispensary again, okay? And you can put in open day, for example, just if you want to make sure you're covering all the bases. So then this is your content block. And again, you will see Shambali Herb Dispensary, where the location, so Nina, Tipperary, or whatever. So, you know, it'll tie back to Ireland. So you will see again, then there's a variation on that with Shambali House and Gardens, consists of a herb dispensary. So we're not saying Shambali Herb Dispensary again. We're using the keywords in a different order. We're also getting in organic farm and the cafe, but it's readable content, so it makes sense. And everything that you write has to make sense to the people reading it. And that's the really important thing. So you get straight to the point. Keep your paragraphs short. And as I say, you use your keywords again, but you use your keywords again, and like you get in, say, organic farm, you talk about crops, you talk about herbal products, you know, where have we got fresh tincture? Tincture is a type of product, herbal product, and it talks about dried herbs. So once again, you'll see the herb dispensary has been used again, and there's little keywords thrown in throughout, but it has to be good quality, readable content. Now you will see here that I say available to purchase from our Shambali dispensary shop. This is called an internal link. It's called anchoring as well. This is really important because again, Google will follow, if it finds this page, it will follow the link, any links on that page, and index whatever you're linking to there as well. So it's good practice to put in 1 or 2 links. And again, don't use too much read more or more information, or actually put something mean like a keyword in there. You could say more about herbal dispensary, or more about our shop, dispensary shop. Just get a keyword in there. So you see Ireland is in there. There's the content is always the first and most important thing that Google looks for on your page. The next thing will be your type, you know, your everything else. So it's really important to get this right. So that will be your content. Generally, for posts in WordPress, you will have an excerpt. So again, you get in your keywords here, but also it's a little description explaining to people when they see your post what the post is about. So it's important to have that in there. Okay, so this is where we see the Yoast itself. So the focus key phrase, I have Irish herb dispensary in there, okay? Because that's really, again, what we're pushing. And then you would have a snippet. So that's your keyword, and this is going to be your description, okay? So you will see Shambally House and Gardens with its Irish herb dispensary, organic farm and wonderful cafe would like to invite you to our open day on the 9th of May 2020, okay? So as you're typing in, for example, if you see there is a green line there, which means that I have the optimum amount of characters in there. If you go over that, it'll turn orange, which means you've too many. So this will guide you as to what it should be, which is a really useful tool. So then you can see that we've got some good results here. So we have transition words, sentence length, paragraph length, subheading, distribution, consecutive sentences. So it's getting a good rating there. As I said, I put this together earlier. So if I'd had a little bit more time, I could have done a bit more on this, but it will give you advice like, you need to improve on this, or you need to improve on that. And if you don't know what it is, you just click on the link and it'll explain it to you. Okay. So then I'm just going to remove the featured image. At this point, you would set a featured image, okay? So it's very important when you're uploading images to your website for posts or pages or anything, that you optimize the images. So that means reducing the size of them, which allows the page to load much faster. So for example, I uploaded this one earlier, and you will see it's 1,000 by 750 pixels, which is quite a large image. Probably don't need to have it that large. So what you can do is you can actually edit the image, and you can reduce it down to, say, 750 in width. And scale. Okay, and you go back, and you'll see now it's down to 96 KB, which is perfect. It's small, it's not going to take long to load. So the next very important thing is that you put in your alt text. So in here, again, I've got the keywords in: Shambally Herb Dispensary, open day. In the description, I have Shambally Herb Dispensary, organic farm, open day. I've added in a couple of extra words because the description you can put in a little bit more. The title of your image, if you're naming your image, put in keywords there as well and separate them with hyphens. Don't have spaces, because it breaks the follow through that Google bots do. So if there's hyphens, they'll follow each word. So you have your image uploaded, you've named your image, you've uploaded it, you've made sure it's not too big, you've put in your alt text, very important, you put in your description, and so you set your featured image, okay? So in this case, we have tags. I've put in Shambally Herb Dispensary, Shambally Dispensary Open Day, Organic Herbal Farm. You can put in our herbal products. And you can add just as simply as that, whatever your keywords relevant to your business are. I've selected latest news and Shambally Dispensary. And then you will, well, in this case, I'll save a draft, okay? You can do that, and then you can preview it. So you can see how it looks. You can make any adjustments to it. What we're focusing on here, though, is making sure that your SEO is good. So according to Yoast, the readability is good, the SEO is good. Now, that can be better, but you can work on that given the advice that they show you in this section here, which is the readability. So you can redo it, but once you're getting a kind of a light orange, you're very close to having excellent SEO on the page. So what I want to do is I just want to, that's a post. So that's a draft version. A lot of people will say, I don't have time to go in every week and update my website, you know, with posts and so on. What I would recommend in this instance is that you set aside a couple of hours when you have it, and you go into your site, you've planned what you're going to say, what posts you're going to compile, and you add maybe 10 posts. And by doing this, you can actually schedule. So you see you have publish here immediately. If you edit that, you can decide, I want to publish this tomorrow, for example, or next month or whatever. So this is your month. So I might want to, I publish this in May and I'll select my date. This means that once you've gone in, you can do all your posts together for a period of time. Let's say you want to do 5 weeks worth or 6 weeks worth, and you want to post 2 posts per week. You just do 12 posts, and then you schedule them for to publish every week. Another thing I want to draw your attention to with this, before I move on to the page, is that there is another software. I'm just going to switch to another screen, so bear with me. I just want to show you something here. And I need to share, sorry, this one again. Okay, so there we go. There is a software called Zapier.com, Zapier.com, you see it there. So again, in this instance, because it's a WordPress site I'm showing you, I have just searched the apps for WordPress. And looking at the integrations. And you see here that you can integrate Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter, MailChimp, you know, the list goes on. It's one of 84. So there's an infinite amount of social media platforms, etc., that you can share your posts on. This is free if you want to use it for one connection. So in this case, if you wanted to connect it to your Facebook, you can do that, and it's free to use. If you want more, they have pricing, and you pay a monthly fee, and you can maybe share it across 3 or 4 platforms for relatively low cost. The great thing about doing this is that you have done your posts, as I said, and every time they publish, it automatically publishes through this Zapier onto your social media platform. You're getting more exposure. People might see it on your Facebook, link back to the site, do a bit more browsing, find other things that they may be interested in. It's a fantastic way to cut down on your workload and get very good exposure. So I just wanted to show you that, Zapier.com. So I'm just going to go back to my other one here. Okay, So I'm now back here and I want to show you, this is our post. We're done whatever date. You can publish it immediately, or you can set it to publish at a later date, as I said. So again, as I said, content is king. In this case, it's the name of the page is Our Story, but you will see their URL. It's following on from Shambali Organic Farm, Our Story. Okay, so that's why I'm saying it's in this section under Shambali Organic Farm, which has the keywords that they want to rank for. So it's really important that you do your URLs correctly. So again, you have your title, Shambali Organic Farm and Estate, Our Story, and again, that will be a H1 tag. Okay. Sorry, this an actual tag. So you see it's a H1 tag there. Okay. It's just set up slightly differently to text. So in here, again, it's about not too much content, but getting in your keywords, but making it attractive to people. You know, like Shambali Organic Farm situated among the rolling hills of North Tipperary. Sounds very inviting, but you've got your keyword in there as well. People, and because it's not a whole huge long page of text or big long paragraphs, people are happy just to read down through it because it doesn't take too long. Okay. And then you can break it into sections. And again, this way, it's a good way of doing it because you can put in your titles again, your H1 titles, exploring organic farm. So you're getting in more H1 titles. The image, if you look at the image, you will see that the image is going to have an alt description, Shambali Organic Farm, Shambali Organic Farm, Beautiful Grounds and Lake. The name of the image is Shambali House Organic Farm Lake, and you will see that it's only 30 KB, which is tiny. So it's properly optimized and it's got all its tags in. So again, in your text, sorry, this is going to be white text, so I just show you this. Again, it's just talking about the whole thing, what you're getting in. You know, you're giving a beautiful description, but you're getting in a few keywords as well. So you can have a newsletter or whatever. So you can see here the Yoast. We've achieved a lovely green smiley face. Shambali Organic Farm and Estate. The snippet again has Shambali Organic Farm is composed of several diverse ecosystems, etc. There would also be, sorry, yeah, as I said, it's under a parent organic farm. So we've managed to get the keywords in there, but it's not overloaded. So the content is good. It's readable for the visitor to the site, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to what's called spam the search engine. So that refers to, you know, throwing in keywords all over the place on the bottom of pages and footers and so on, putting them in invisible color or on the page. Google will severely punish you for that. Keep it clean, keep it simple. Now, I've talked about using your keyword repetition, but varying it. So if it's Shambali Organic Farm, you could say, for example, another variation on that would be our organic plant growers on our farm have years of experience. So think of different ways to mix up the keywords, but making it interesting for the visitor to read. So I think I'll leave that at that for now. And I'm just going to go back to another screen here because, sorry, wrong one. I just want to talk about fast page loading. Really, really important. So, okay, sorry, I've opened up that. So, one of the biggest things as well for getting your site to rank really well organically is page loading speed. So I spoke about optimizing your images, and that is incredibly important, that they're not heavy and they have all their tags, okay? In the likes of WordPress, there are other plugins such as Smush, again free, that will optimize images for you if you're not very good at doing that yourself. But if you really want to speed up to speed up your site, which Google rewards you for in organic rankings, then I would recommend WP Rocket. This is a cache plugin, and what it does is, you can see it here. It does page caching, so it gives really fast loading time. It's essential for SEO and increasing conversions, because people don't want to be waiting for ages for a site to load. They'll just get bored and move on. Cache preloading, so because the crawler simulates a visit to preload the cache, the indexing of your website by search engines is instantly approved, which is really important. It does file compression and images on request and so on. And basically, it's show you the pricing here. It's $49 for a license, okay? It says 1 year of support and updates, but I mean, that doesn't mean that it stops working. It just means you can update it yourself, or if you have a web developer designer that's maintaining your site, when the plugin has updates, they'll automatically update it and check it and so on. Another interesting thing, I don't know how many of you do exports, so you may be trying to target, say, the American market or the UK market or anywhere in Europe. It's something called CDN, which is included in WP Rocket. So CDN is Content Distribution Network. Basically, it's geographically distributed servers working together to provide fast delivery of content. So for example, it's like if I'm in America and I Google Irish designer jewellery, and your site has been, you've done the SEO for your website on those keywords, this will facilitate your website to load from a server in the US that's close to them. So it will rank it higher and it will load very quickly. This is really worth looking at. Again, it's a small investment, but it's a very good investment if you want to boost your SEO. So another thing I want to talk about then is having a link building strategy. So, sorry, excuse me, I'll take a quick drink of water. Link building strategy is where you get good backlinks to your site. I'm sure you've all seen the emails, you know, we'll get you 1,000 backlinks to your site and you'll rank top of Google. You may rank top of Google for a day and then Google will blacklist you, most likely, for spamming the search engine. So that is never advised. Google looks for, you know, proper backlink building. So, for example, you are clients of DCCI, you could ask them if that's something that they do, could they put your link on their website? If you're a member of a network, ask them to put your link on their website. If you are with the Chamber of Commerce, with any tourism associations, either, you know, other businesses that are complementary to yours, you know, for example, if you do classes in what you create, for example, you could approach local restaurants or whatever and say, you know, we'll recommend you and you recommend us. There are various ways of doing it, but it's a really good way to drive traffic to your site as well. So that's something that I would recommend you look into. Okay, let me see. I suppose, yeah, I spoke about social media. So it is important that if you're putting anything up, let's say on Pinterest, like a picture, make sure you link it back to your website and you put in the keywords that are relevant to that. And that goes across the board. I've already kind of explained how you can link your posts to various social media platforms. Another thing you should do, I know, again, it's very hard to find time, but if you can, once every 3-6 months, have a look at your Google Analytics. Every site should have Google Analytics activated on the site. And this way you can go in, you can see, okay, I posted this, and all of a sudden, after I posted this particular blog, it in turn posted to Facebook, and I see that I got a huge amount of traffic back to my website from Facebook. So you know that it's working. Another thing to do is see what your competitors are doing. What are they doing that's right? Look at their social media and see how many shares or likes that they're getting. If they're getting a couple of thousand likes and shares or whatever on a particular post, look at it, analyze it and say, okay, I could do something like that, but what caught people's attention? So, you know, it is worth sitting down. This is your business, and we're all on our phones, we're all on our computers, laptops, tablets, whatever, looking at everything. We look for everything now through Google and social media. So it is a good idea if you're doing a review of your statistics to see what's working, and then to maybe see what isn't working and look at your competitors and see how they're doing on that platform and emulate what they're doing. So Emer, if you would like, we could do some questions now.
Certainly, that's been really, really informative. We have some questions now. One of them is relating back, let me see. Okay, we'll start with a general one, will we?
Okay.
Can Boost be applied to a Spotify website?
That's something I would have to get back to you on, but I can take a note of that. So Spotify, is that what you said?
Shopify.
Shopify. Sorry,
yes.
I thought you said Spotify. That's why I was kind of going, oh my God.
I may have. It could have been a Freudian slip.
Okay, sorry.
I hope not.
Yeah, look, as I said, every platform will have some sort of, like in WordPress, they call them plugins, In other platforms, they call them add-ons or what have you, modules. So every platform will have some sort of SEO module, plugin, and so on. The best thing to do is see what platform you're on. You can Google then what is the best recommended SEO module plugin for this platform, and then install it, because normally it's like a one-click install. It's very easy, and then you just go through all your pages and posts and what have you, and you add in the various titles and descriptions and so on. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, if anyone has questions, if you could just put them type them into the Q&A, that would be great. Okay, I have one here. I use Squarespace website platform, and do you have any advice re SEOs for this platform?
Again, the best advice you're going to get will be from their own FAQs and knowledge base. A lot of the time you will find that when you Google what are the best SEO strategies for Squarespace, there will be companies who have done comparisons on different, whether it's modules or add-ons or plugins, and they will, or strategies. But the thing to remember about SEO is that it's basically the same principle. The tools that you use will be specific to that platform, but it's basically the same principle. You always have a good title for your page with your keyword. Do your keyword research. Make sure the URL contains the keywords. Make sure you have a H1 tag at the very top of your page. Make sure that you have good content with your keywords in it. It doesn't always have to be in the same format. Mix it up a little bit so it doesn't seem, don't overuse it. If it's a short page, you shouldn't have that keyword, that key phrase in. Let's take Shambali Herb Dispensary, for example. If it's only a couple of paragraphs on a page, that shouldn't be more than 3 or 4 times. If it's a longer page, maybe 6 or 7 times. The principles are actually the same. It doesn't really matter what platform you're on, but the tools you use may vary. That's it. I did kind of do up a little Word document that I could convert to a PDF if you like. I can send that on to you if your clients wish to, have a look through it again.
Yeah, if anyone has questions that are really specific to themselves, if they can be addressed afterwards, Margaret would be happy to do that. Do you know what I'd like to just, Margaret, if I've got you for a couple of minutes now, are there 3 or 4 key things to be avoided, simple mistakes that people make that we shouldn't?
Absolutely. First of all, a lot of people will just have, for example, again, I'm going back to the URL. Let's say it's your news. If your company is called Irish Jewellery Design, you should change the URL name to Irish Jewellery Design News. Okay, not just news, because that's generic. It has no keywords. It means nothing. Your title tags should always include your keywords, your main keywords, to ensure that it's ranking. There's another thing you can do. It's called cornerstone pages. And basically what that is you set up, rather than having keywords that are repeated across 10 pages, all the the same keywords, you're trying to achieve the same thing over 10 pages. You have one page, but then any posts or other pages that are related to that, you link it back to that what's called that cornerstone page, that overall page that has that content, that good SEO and those keywords. And that way, what happens is the Google will index that, and that will make that the important, put that of really high importance as one of your important keywords. It boosts that keyword. So it's as I said, There's a number of things to it. It's page loading speed. It's getting your tags right, your meta tags, title tags, headings, URLs, content. Another big mistake people make is they put in the same keyword again and again and again and again and again on the page. And Google doesn't actually, it's not intelligent, it doesn't read the page. What it'll do is it'll just see that they see that word there 40 times or phrase there 40 times, and they say that's not going to be a proper read for the visitor. So they will actually punish you for that. So don't overdo it. The key is, as I said, you know, use the phrase maybe if it's a long page 6-7 times, but you can change it up. You can not use the exact phrase. You can use words from that phrase, but in a legible manner, because ultimately it has to make sense to the visitor.
Margaret, I have one final question, and I need to contextualize it. It came in about 10 minutes into your presentation, and I don't want to lose the question, but it might need certain clarification. The question is, the SEO on this page, what would you fill in there? All right, so I think we were on the Strad Valley page, but if the
Valley, yeah.
If the person could help me here with maybe another little bit of context, that would be a great help, because I was trying to save the questions for Margaret to the end, and I didn't want to lose that context.
I'd say, to be honest, that's more or less as I went down through the post or the page, I explained the importance of the keywords and where to put them. So that may have answered that question already on how the SEO was performed on that page and how it got a good result with the Yoast.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What we'll do is, if that person feels that they haven't been answered, you know, fully, if you could maybe email me, and then I'll pass on the query. Okay. Is it important to have a long product description?
Yeah, look, it depends, you know. I suppose if it's relevant and it has good keywords, yes, that's fine. I suppose it depends on the aesthetics of your site as well. Don't forget that people are looking at sites on mobile devices a lot as well. So if the title of your product is very long, you're going to see an image, and then you're going to see this big long title for the product, and it just makes it very long. So yes, get a keyword in there and you know, a little bit of description, but I wouldn't have it too long. You know, again, you need to make sure your site is user friendly on a phone as well. So you know, if you're looking down your phone and you see, as I said, the image, and then there's the name, and then you have the click here or add to cart, whatever it is. If the name is really long, you actually have to scroll to get to even view more, you know, on the product or add to cart. So just bear that in mind. Also, if you're looking at it on a desktop, make sure that there's kind of some, you know, consistency across, so that some products don't have, you know, 3 words and others have 20, because it'll just look imbalanced.
Okay, you're getting some really lovely compliments here, and people are finding it really informative. And here's another question. Okay, can you recommend where to put a newsletter that has a lot of keywords if you do not have a blog tab?
I suppose what I would say is your tab, the name of your you can decide what the name of your tab is. You can create a page. Now, don't forget, if you create newsletters and they're in PDF format, Google will follow the link and it can index PDFs as well. So PDFs are perfectly fine to use. So let's say, for example, you don't want to have like a blog or a news section or whatever. What you can do is create a page saying our newsletters, or whatever the name of your business is, or and you can actually put the PDFs in as links, upload them, and link to the PDFs, and just put the date and a little description about what it is. And that's a very simple way of doing it without having to have a blog section or a news section, and it works quite well.
Okay, that's really good. Does anybody have any final questions that I can catch before we wrap it up for today? Just before we started today, Margaret and I were having a conversation, and I'll use this platform to make everyone aware that the local enterprise offices have changed the gearing of their trading online vouchers. So the client contribution has been significantly lowered. So I think it's important to, I probably mentioned that to a lot of you already, but I think it's really important to bear that in mind. So I'd like to really thank Margaret for, pardon, Margaret, yeah? Margaret, do you want to add?
Sorry, I would say it's quite a significant change and really worth looking at. Before you were required to give 50%, whereas now it's 10%. So as we were discussing, Emer, if you get quoted 2,500, for example, for your website, it's now only going to cost you €250, as you know, because they will pay the balance. So it's 90% up to a maximum of 2,500. I would absolutely recommend people do that, but they're also offering mentoring, which is a great thing, like you guys as well. So definitely check those out, I would say.
Yeah, just to remind all of you that they are offering mentoring to develop strategy out of the situation and future planning, up to €2,500 of mentoring. So we've discussed that before, but I think it's really, really important that you look at those ones, okay? You're getting an awful lot of compliments in, Margaret. People thought it was a brilliant and informative presentation. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming in this afternoon. And I'd like to thank all of our audience with great questions. And I think everyone's gone away with a lot of information. I know I certainly have. And I'd like to wish you all a nice weekend. And thank you, audience. And thank you, Margaret, again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emer. Bye.
Bye-bye.